Hey guys, Tori here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just want to take a second to thank all of you for joining in. I'm really excited about this week's topic. It's gonna be puppetry. So very excited. So I got my little guy right here and we're just gonna dig right in. So first things first, we are going to talk about the three most important and simple aspects of puppetry. So those are breath, focus, and movement. So let's dig in. Why are these three things so important? Okay, folks, let's dive right in. So we're going to talk about breath first. Breath is very important in puppetry because it shows you that the puppet is alive. Not only that, it can also correlate to how it's feeling and its emotions throughout the piece. So I'm going to take my little helper guy here and, let's give an example. We're walking around, and the puppet is sad. And we can tell that by the breath that it took. Now, while yes, breath is obviously very important for the puppet, it's also important for us puppeteers because it is a way to connect us to the puppets throughout the piece. Okay, everyone, moving right along. So next we're going to talk about focus. So focus is very important in puppetry because it allows the audience to know what the puppet is looking at and what the puppet is thinking. So say we've got a little pen here, we've got our guy. See how the nose forms a triangle. The nose is going to be the center of the puppet's focus. So we've got a pen right here, and we're going to be, do. And we can see that the puppet is clearly looking at the pen, and we watch that through the nose. Very cool. And focus is also very important for the puppeteers because we actually need to be focusing on the puppet and how it's being perceived to the audience. Okay, last up, but certainly not least, we have movement. So movement is very important in puppetry because it shows what the puppet is doing. It shows its intention in the piece, and it is, how you say, the language of puppetry. And this movement is very important for the puppeteers because, it's the way to convey that intention through the puppet. Okay, folks, we are going to now talk about books. Books. So, Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. There are three specific things in here that I found really related me back to puppetry. The first, we're going to take a look at page 36. So page 36 really talks about the idea of your face and in simplicity. So the reason why I love this puppet so much, this little guy, is because he's so simple. And the idea really in comics, in puppetry, in movies, in anything having to do with the arts is you want to see yourself. Really in that piece, and by making puppets more simple, or making cartoons more simple, the audience is more drawn to them and more apt to see themselves. Okay, going right on to the next section, we've got page 119. So in page 119, we talk about living in the line and how these different lines can convey different emotions. My favorite to look at is anxiety, and anxiety is kind of like you can see the visibly shake. Well, that connects to puppetry because think about movement. And think about, even if there's no sound in a piece, you can still see what the puppet is doing and how it's feeling through movement and through its breath. So say we take anxiety, for example, maybe a little shake looking back and forth. Is it anxious? Is it paranoid? And it gives off that kind of feel. Okay, Going right into the last point, piggybacking off of the idea of no sound, brings us to page 194 and 195, where we talk about, you know, the human inability to communicate and that idea of communication through spoken word and how that has evolved. But we always go back to spoken word. And this really got to me because in a lot of puppetry pieces that I've personally done, there's little to no sound. And no, definitely no words. So it's very interesting to think of, you know, an audience perceiving exactly what's happening through no sound, through no spoken word, but simply through watching what is happening. Okay, everyone, it's about that time. So the last thing that we're going to talk about is something that is inspiring to me about this class and about puppetry and how we're going about puppetry in this particular semester. So when I did puppetry back in high school, it was very square peg round hole. And in this class, we really get to utilize every different viewpoint that we're all coming from and each of our different creativity. I think that's really important to be able to tap in to your own abilities because that's what we're supposed to do as artists. And if we can't utilize ourselves and our own creativity and our own abilities, what are we doing? What are we really making? One of the things that I'm particularly excited, which is coming up, we haven't done it yet, but is our project that doesn't necessarily have to be a puppet, but it can be puppetry inspired. And me personally, I want to paint a mural. There's like this little kind of stone wall type thing near my house in Connecticut, and I'm so excited to be able to do a mural encompassing what I've learned and encompassing puppetry and this amazing book and all of those different things. And I think it's wonderful that, you know, while we are studying puppetry, we're not just confined to these specific things. All right, well, that is all the time I have. I want to say thank you so much to my viewers. Thank you to my audience. Mwah, mwah, mwah. You have been wonderful and have a wonderful day.